Hi everyone, it's Kute here, sending you love wherever you are right now. Today I want to make a short and special video that's really about, how do you stop other people from taking advantage of you? So often as I work with people in my one-on-one events or seminars or intensive deep dive retreats, I often hear people say, Kute, why can't everyone be like me? Why can't people be loving? Why can't, if I give, I'm so giving. Why are people not reciprocal? Why are people always taking advantage of me? And I'm feeling so bad. Here's the reality: life is filled with all sorts of people, and not everyone is going to be like you. And to expect people to be like you is a sure recipe for suffering. So if you want to keep suffering, then expect everyone to be like you. And if you want to make peace with suffering and let go of suffering, then give up expecting people to be like you, to respond like you, to be loving and spiritual like you. The more you can accept the way it is, then you can bring yourself in alignment, and then you can choose how you respond to life, and then you can choose who you surround yourself with in your life. So as we talk about, how to stop other people from taking advantage of you, here's what I want you to really take away and get. No one can take advantage of you unless you allow it. No one. And people will treat you how you teach them to treat you, which then puts the responsibility. Here's what's exciting: it puts the responsibility in your hands, in your heart. It's on you. It's no longer about how other people are treating you anymore. People will do what they do. People will show up how they show up. Maybe they're greedy, maybe they're selfish, maybe they have their own wounds and their own patterns, and they're just being themselves. And many times we end up taking it personally. Oh my God, they're treating me a certain way. That means they don't love me. Oh, they're being a certain way. That means they don't value me. And chances are they're just being what they're being because that's what they are in their level of evolution in this moment. So if you're able to recognize that that's where they are in their level of evolution in this moment, and you don't expect them to be at a whole nother level of evolution because they're not there, then it frees you up to be responsible for yourself, to choose how you then choose to interact with that individual, that person in your life, whether it's your wife, whether it's your husband, whether it's your daughter, whether it's your boss, whether it's your employee, whether it's one of your long lost best friends. If you feel like someone is taking advantage of you, it's not about them. It's not about them. And what I often see people do is they're often pointing the finger. They're treating me a certain way. They're taking advantage of me. They're doing it. No one can take advantage of you unless you allow it. People will treat you how you teach them to treat you. So if you have people in your life, whether it's so-called friends in your life, if you have those in your life that are treating you, they're maybe taking advantage of you or pushing the boundary or being very selfish, and all they're doing is taking from you, and you are allowing it. It's not about them, it's about you. If you have people like that in your life, look at what is it you're allowing? What is it you're settling for? What is it that you're tolerating? You get in your relationships what you choose. You get in your relationships what you settle for. So what are you settling for? What are you allowing? What have you allowed and why? When you stop pointing the finger, you see, whenever you point the finger at that person, they're doing it. They're taking advantage of me. I'm feeling a certain way because of them. You give that person a tremendous amount of power that I'm going to propose that they do not deserve. No one, and I mean no one, is worth your happiness. No one is worth your freedom. This is something that is your birthright. This is something that is available to you, but it is your responsibility, amazing friends. It's your responsibility, and it's your choice to take your power back. So in order to free yourself, you get to accept what people are, realize that, and then realize that you're going to have to give up this whole blame thing, like they're doing it and it's him and they need to stop. And then it's on you. It's on you to be responsible. It's on you to choose. It's on you to choose what you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept. It's on you to choose who you're going to accept in your life. Often, sometimes in the spiritual field, we think, in the spiritual community, we think, if I'm loving and I'll be loving, and that will mean I'm just going to let people, I'm going to accept them, I'm going to love them, even though they're always taking from me, and I'm going to be the bigger one. And there are moments where, yes, you get to be the bigger one, but that doesn't, just because you get to be the bigger one and being loving and being loving and spiritual and compassionate doesn't mean you let someone shit all over you, doesn't mean you let someone take advantage of you. Number one, it's not honoring of you when you allow that. It's not honoring of your own self, of your own value, of your own integrity, when you allow someone to treat you a certain way that's not truly honoring, truly not valuing who you are as a being and as a soul. But also, it's not honoring to that person. It doesn't serve that person when you allow them to treat you and take advantage of you in that way. It doesn't honor them either. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is to love yourself, is to value yourself. And as a result of doing that, you get to set your boundaries and choose the experience that you get to have. One of the most spiritual qualities, I believe, is responsibility. And when you are willing to say, wait a second, the experience I'm having, I've chosen this, but just because I've chosen this doesn't mean I have to keep choosing it. At any moment in any given relationship, you have the right, you have the opportunity, you have the birthright to choose, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. So if someone's taking advantage of you, amazing friends, it's your responsibility. And likely what often happens is when you allow that, and when you have a certain way of relating with another person that has allowed a dynamic where they are sucking off of you, where they are taking advantage of you, which you've allowed, it creates a certain dynamic. They learn to relate to you in that way. So you can't expect them to change. You've trained them, so you have to retrain them. And one of the first things is you get to become aware, take responsibility, love yourself, honor yourself, realize that you deserve the best, you deserve more. So what will you allow yourself to receive in love and in relationships? And so often that when we allow certain behaviors from those in our lives, and when we allow those around us to take advantage of us, it's because we're trying to get something from them. We're seeking something from them. Love, validation, connection. We want them to think we're a nice person. So if you look at those in your life and those that you perceive as taking advantage of you, and you look at, well, what are they reflecting to me about myself? And if I'm allowing it, if I've been perpetuating it and not saying no, not setting my boundaries, then what is it you're trying to get from the situation? What is it that secretly underground you're trying to get from them? It becomes a certain exchange, a certain trade-off. If I let you do something, then you'll give me something, and this happens and this goes on, but I promise you it will not lead to fulfillment and happiness. There is a responsibility, and as you take responsibility, you reclaim your power. And as you reclaim your power, then you can truly respect yourself, love yourself. And as you love yourself, and as you give yourself the love and the validation that perhaps you've been seeking outside, you unhook yourself from other people's validation. You unhook yourself from needing people to be around you. You unhook yourself from needing a certain old way of relating to people, and you access a source of freedom. And when you access a source of freedom, you can be yourself. And when you start, and in that place, you can start freely saying no. So I invite you, amazing friends, to learn to start saying yes to yourself and perhaps no to other people. You might say, well, I'm afraid if I say no to people around me, then they'll leave. Those that, if you're truly honoring yourself and you say no and people leave, likely they weren't truly your friends in the first place. They were in love with the persona of who you were trying to be. They were in love with the character, with who you thought you needed to be, but not who you really are. If you want to find out who your friends really are, then start saying yes to yourself and start saying no more often. And those that remain are likely your real friends. But you must first start by loving yourself and being a friend to yourself. Because when you betray yourself, when you say no to yourself, that's really the moment you say you take advantage of yourself. So don't take advantage of yourself, honor your integrity, be your own best friend. And from that place, you will create the space to attract incredible relationships, friendships, and love into your life that will be a mirror manifestation of who you are and how you are being with yourself. Sending you love, everyone. If you enjoyed this blog, I want you to subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the blog, share it with your friends. Big hugs and love. now say yes to you.